Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is October 10th, 2020, and this is episode 103. Today we're going to take a look at DCeased. Dead Planet is the arc. This is 4 of 7, and of course DC is the publisher on this $3.99 comic. Let's take a look at the cover first. Nice composition here, kind of like that reverse pyramid going on, and then another pyramid coming up this way. We don't exactly see this pose, but we do get a conflict between Superman, who's John Kent, and also Orion Lighttray. Okay, and Mary and Dinah are along for this ride, and it happens in New Genesis. So this is actually fairly descriptive of what happens. Now this hand coming up, I believe that's supposed to be Darkseid. That's kind of an addition. It really doesn't happen in this moment. And also his hand is much larger than that. So I'm assuming that's Darkseid, but I'm not sure. Okay, the comic is written by Tom Taylor. Hairsign is the artist, and let's see if I can find out what his first name is real quick. Here we go. Trevor Hairsign is the artist, and he's been doing a good job of this. I've really been enjoying. It seems like he's been getting better, and I know maybe they've kind of slowed down the pace. On Unkillables, those came out really quick, and it seemed like his art was very rushed. On this, the art seems much better. People don't look out of proportion. The women look beautiful, the men look strong. So what can we say? I think he's doing a good job on this. Maybe they're giving him a little bit more time. So I've been enjoying the art on this much more. Now I want to just mention that I did read Unkillables, DCeased Unkillables, which was the arc before this. And it was more of a compact story. It was kind of a get to A to B as fast as you can because you can't get to C. This one, the 7 issues is much more sprawling. It is going all over the place. It's hard to keep track. I actually had to check back on the last 3 issues just to catch up on it and kind of put myself where this is supposed to be. There's a lot of characters that I'm not super familiar with that kind of come in and out of this arc, and it is a recommend, but you got to really kind of pay close attention. I think this is going to read better as a trade, and hopefully it will be a 7-issue trade, so you get the whole story, the whole arc in there. Okay, so with this started, if you recall, there's the anti-life virus that has swept through even the superheroes. It's pretty much annihilated the whole population. There's a few superheroes hanging on. A batch in Gotham. There's a stronghold in Australia, and that's mostly super villains in that area. There's some up in a spaceship well above Earth, and that's about it that I know of. And then of course New Genesis and Apocalypse. There still have some superheroes dwelling there as well. So, we end up going there in this one. So there's a lot of talking at first. There's not a super amount of action, but their idea is we got to get the cure for the anti-life virus out of Cyborg's head, who they've put back together, by the way. They just found his head originally. And they think they've come up with a plan, and the plan is to go to New Genesis and then on to Apocalypse to talk to Metron and barter with him, basically. But you get a nice little scenes in here, just a lot of chatting. They're going to barter with Madame Xanadu's crystal ball, which you can see the future. They're going to try some other things first, though, of course, and just these characters kind of banter through you. They might get like on a page or a panel here and there, but that's about it. They go to visit Green Lantern, the new Green Lantern, which is Dinah Drake, formerly the Black Canary, and she is holding Oliver Queen, who's been bitten by the bug. He's like in a sphere now, and she's keeping him safe in the meantime till a cure is found, but she's also keeping him away from the other superheroes. And then we get an ad, of course. But they need her to go. They want to take the strongest superheroes to go to New Genesis. So they're going John Kent. They're rounding up John Kent, Mary Marvel, Wonder Woman, the new Wonder Woman, and now they want to take Green Lantern, Dinah Drake. So they've convinced her that they'll take care of Oliver Queen, who you can see is quite the zombified menace now. So they're going to put him in a special vegetable pod and keep him safe in the meantime while she goes and does this quest. So we also find out that Wonder Woman and the new Batman, who is, oh God, I'm drawing a blank. Sorry about that. I can't think of who it is now. But they are a couple, and I think Superman and Mary Marvel might end up being a couple as well by the end of this. Just saying. I don't know for sure. But anyway, there's some corny jokes in there. It's, it doesn't really add to it. And then we go to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and they get out their crowbars. No, not really. This is an ad. This is a 2-page ad, but it's every time I look through this thing, I get caught up in it and think it's part of the story. I'm going, what's going on now? It's just a Snickers ad. But I digress. So they make it to New Genesis, and Orion's waiting there. They have Scott Free, who is, I'm drawing a blank on his name. I know what it is. Hang on a second. Mr. Miracle. Thank you very much. And he's, of course, got his cube that helps open up the doorways, pathways. And Orion wants him to kind of leave. And if you remember, I really don't know it other than reading about it more or less. But this is part of the New Gods, and Orion and Mr. Miracle had switched dads to create a peace in the galaxy. And so they're kind of stepbrothers in a way, but there's a lot of animosity between the two. And Orion says it wants him out of there. He just starts attacking him. And of course, Mr. Miracle doesn't want to fight him. He's like, "Come on, I'm here on a mission, But Superman, John Kent, of course, he's more powerful than his father was, steps in and just whacks Orion out. So Orion Light Tray is out of the picture for now. The High Father comes by, doesn't seem too concerned about his stepson here. But they explain to him they want to go talk to Metron. They want to sit on the throne. They want Cyborg to sit on the throne because I guess this throne has all the information in the galaxy on it, and hopefully they can decipher that formula that's in his head. But they're going to try to barter or trick him at first, and then barter him. And their trick basically is to ambush him and attack him. Now, in the meantime, we find out that Scott Free, Mr. Miracle, has a son, and he's 5 years older now, and he's out in the courtyard playing, and his father's encouraging him to get to know his son again. Big Barter has been killed, so she's part of the menace, the zombie menace, so he's feeling really bad about it, but his father's encouraging him, don't miss out on him growing up, because that's what happens. They become young men while you're gone, so you got to be around as much as possible. Kind of a nice little story there for all, kind of that cats in the cradle type analogy going on. So they go off to find Metron, who sits on the chair. I mean, the throne has a name, and I'm trying to think what it's called. Oh, the Mobius chair. Okay, so they want to get Cyborg on the Mobius chair, so they all go out there, and they have Cyborg with them too. Everybody hides behind while Scott Free kind of lures them out and says, I got something for you, Metron. And so Metron shows up in his Mobius chair, offers him to see the future. And then as soon as he reaches out for the ball, all the other superheroes jump out and they try to grab him. Of course, they're not successful because Metron's actually a god. And he's able to stop this attack and kind of knock everybody away. And he's just saying, why didn't you just lead with the ball? I would have done it. And so They say, okay, so they give him the crystal ball. They let Cyborg sit in the Mobius chair. His head is full of knowledge now, too much to comprehend at the time. And Metron has seen the future. He says, I got to go now. And he just takes off. Boom. He says, and as you can see, something's happening here. We have Black Racer checking out this asteroid that I guess encapsulates Darkseid. And it's starting to crack open. And it does. And we have Darkseid popping out. And I don't know if he's an undead as well, or if he's just come to reclaim his kingdom again. I'm not sure what's going on exactly. But you can see that the High Father sees something's going on. He's saying, take Jacob, get out of here. And all through it, we have this little narration. Now, I don't know if this is Mary Marvel talking again, like it was on Unkillables, or if it's another character. But it goes on. And then we see this last thing where Darkseid is in New Genesis now, and he's got Orion pinned down, and you can see that hand is very large compared to the hand that we see on the cover right here, which is very small, and there's Orion there. So I'm assuming that's on Orion's, Darkseid's hand on the cover, because Orion's right there. So we've got another menace now. We seem to have picked up a many menaces. We've got the undead circling Gotham, that, where they have their sanctuary that Poison Ivy has created. And supposedly Wonder Woman's dead, but I'm not going to bet on that completely because she's kind of a god as well. They did stab her through the heart with a sword, but who knows? We haven't seen her since, I think, the first issue, so she could definitely come back. We've got Darkseid now on a rampage, and then we've got over in Australia, we've got the Penguin and his army of, I guess they're kind of like plant robots that have superpowers, so he's got a whole army of those as well. So, and they're planning on coming to Gotham, I believe, at some point. So there's a lot going on in this. It is, like I said, it is sprawling story. I am enjoying it. I'm having to do a lot of backup reading just to keep up with it. One of the other things I don't care for is when a character does die or perish, they just say, "Oh, he's gone." You know, doesn't seem to be any kind of remorse. Now Dinah Drake is actually. She's carrying on, trying to keep Oliver Queen going safe until a cure can be found. So there's a little bit of sadness in her, but everybody else seems to be kind of like life goes on, do. Okay, it wasn't me, thank God. But other than that, a pretty decent story so far. I go out and check it out, or wait for the trade to come out. It might be a little easier to collect at this point since we are at the 4th issue. And I think probably the first issue's probably gone up in price. So I understand this line has been super popular. I did not read the original DCeased, but I might go back and explore that at some point. So thank you for stopping by. Please subscribe, please like, please leave comments. I'd love to hear from you. Recommend this. And as always, from the Temple of Tomes, I bid you adieu.